Welcome back to Let's Talk Business. My name is Maria Medina, and I'm your networking and business coach. And today I am joined by a fellow BNIer, Carrie White. Carrie White, would you please go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, Maria. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. As she said, my name is Carrie White, and I do money mindset coaching. Um, so, I always, whenever somebody says, "Tell me a little about yourself," my first go-to is, "I'm a mom." I play the mom card because I always wanted to be a mom. Had 5 kids, homeschooled them all. So not only am I a mom, I'm also have a lot of grit because I did that homeschooling 1 year at a time for 20 years because I just wouldn't give up, even when it was hard. So I started coaching after I lost my regular job, and I was trying to get another job, and then I realized in that during that process that I didn't want a job. I didn't want to work for somebody else. I wanted something transformational for other people. And coaching kind of fit the bill. My husband and I made all those boo boos when we were young, made a lot of financial mistakes, and really want to help other people avoid those or get out of them or, meet them where they are to take them where they want to be. So that's why I did it. I don't want, I remember being in the grocery store going, can I buy one loaf of bread at this time or can I buy two at the same time and not come back so soon? Can I afford that? I mean, that's how fun our financials were when the kids were little. So I just would like to avoid other people having that pain. So the money coaching is really good for that. So I help overwhelmed people, professionals, that singles, couples that just need help getting their money life in order. So that's a little about me.
I always love when the story of why you got into the particular business has that personal touch because it makes you so much more committed to what you're doing. And I know that if I ask this question in a general sense, you probably say, oh, it's being a mom. So I'm going to be more specific. What has been your greatest success in business so far?
um, you know what? It's the success I see in my clients when they move from stress and anxiety to confidence and hope in their finances. It's super fun to watch the light bulbs go off and they just start thinking differently about money, and it becomes a tool rather than some kind of evil thing that's out to get them or something that's evading them. And I really like being able to help them get to that point so that they can, one of my clients recently was like, I got a new suit for the first time in 5 years, and we bought a new refrigerator, and we saved for it. So there's no stress around the buying it. There's no guilt because I used that money for me to buy a suit, and my kids didn't have whatever. It was planned and saved for, and so they had a real sense of accomplishment and confidence and no stress. I mean, that's so great because it's really not. Coaching isn't really about the bank account. It's about the freedom that knowing what you're doing with your money gives you.
Yeah, financial literacy is so important, and as business owners, we sort of forced and to learn it so that we can make informed decisions for our business. And I still know of small business owners that are not very financially literate, and they're still trying to make decisions without knowing exactly where their money's going from, where those big expenses. They don't have a savings for that rainy day or when they lose a big client, and it's so important, and it applies the same to everybody's personal life. So you went through a lot personally before becoming a coach. What has been your greatest challenge in business so far, and how did you overcome it, or did you overcome it?
Oh my gosh. So I knew I wanted to coach, and having homeschooled, I've been teaching for a long time. All I viewed with starting the coaching business was I'm going to sit down, I'm going to be on Zoom, I'm going to talk to these people, they're going to have all these great breakthroughs, it's going to be super fun. And that part is. The part I didn't realize was that I actually have to tell people about my business. And that was terrifying. So I had to do a lot of work internally to get over the fear. And I'm a work in progress. I'm, you know, people who know me now but didn't know me before would not know what a huge difference the last few years have made in my personality and my ability to be a fake outgoing person. Because I'm an introvert, but the shy part is way less. I will always be an introvert. I will always need to be away from people to recharge. That there's nothing different about that. But my ability to talk to people is better. Standing in front of a group. I mean, we do educational moments together at BNI, and I would have never ever signed up for that. I would, if you had told me 5 years ago that I would do that, I would have said, "You're crazy. There's no way." Standing in front of a group voluntarily and talking. So yeah, that was the thing that I really needed, and BNI has helped. The coaching and training that I took prior to BNI, super helpful to get me out of that fear hole.
I love that because it also you're also mentioning, yeah, this is something that I'm still working on. I'm constantly putting myself in situations that are outside my comfort zone. So I think you touched upon it a little bit when you mentioned that you didn't know how much you would have to talk about yourself and sell yourself. So is there anything other than that that you wish you would have known before you started your own business?
um, how important support is from other people. Um, it's really difficult if you don't have people that are in your corner, and if you don't have it where you thought you had it, you've got to go find it. So I have little selections of people that are my cheerleaders. So I now have a BNI cheerleading squad. I have an NLP cheerleading squad, and then I have my family and friends. And so they each give you different things. Some of them are more tough love. Yeah. Why are you doing that? Is that really a wise decision? And then they make me explain myself. And then, okay, we're good. So yeah, having that is really important to me.
I always talk about that because and we've spoken about it on previous episodes that we've done on Let's Talk Business. It's so important to have that community support because as small business owners, we are isolated. We are by ourselves. There's no boss, there's no colleagues often. And unless we have staff, there's nobody in the room with us watching what we're doing so that we can have those sparking conversations that help us move to the next step. So it's so isolating that having that support group, even if it is questioning what you're doing, but questioning it with good intention. So, where is that coming from? Why are they asking you these questions? Are they asking you to elevate you, or are they asking you to bring you down? And surrounding yourself with those people that are elevating you. As a coach, I'm sure you are a fan of continuous professional development. So, what is one resource that you would share with an up and coming entrepreneur?
Okay, so on the limiting belief problem that we all struggle with a lot of those, and me being able to talk in front of people was one of those. I took some training with a woman named Stacey O'Byrne, and she has a podcast. What's it called? What is it called? Sell Without Selling. And so she has a lot of great information on making connection and being confident and getting over those blocks um, in your mindset, being visible. And she's the one that was like, you have to go to a BNI type group and put yourself out there and get referrals. She built her business 100% on referrals, and she's like, that's what you need to do. And so I love her podcast because it's always, because I took her training, a lot of it is like, oh yeah, I learned that. I love the reminder. So yeah, I really like that. She's had a lot of influence on me.
You know me, I'm a huge proponent of networking. Like, you build so much with networking, but it is so important. And I like that sell without selling. I like what she's saying there, because that is exactly what you do. You need to lead with curiosity so that you're actually getting to know people, because you shouldn't be trying to sell somebody until you know if they could actually benefit from, like, as much as it's like everybody needs coaching. No, they don't. You don't know people's particular circumstance. You don't know anything about them, and you also don't know if you're going to be a good fit for them, because there's also personality checks. So I love that. So thank you for sharing that. And I always like to end with a fun fact. What is one fun fact you'd like to share with our community?
So the funny thing is that the first thing that pops into my mind is that growing up, I always loved animals. We always had a weird variety of animals, but my very favorite one was a squirrel. So we found a baby squirrel whose eyes were still closed when we were on a hike. He was like almost blue. He was in a stream, and we brought him home, fed him on a bottle, and his eyes opened. And so the only thing he knew was people. So of course, he was people. So we had Chatter, our little squirrel, who was one of the best pets ever, for like 10 years, which is 7 years past their normal lifespan because there were no predators chasing after him. But he was a lot of fun. And I don't know anybody else who had a pet squirrel when I was growing up. So that was always a unique thing.
I love that. Well, thank you again so much for popping on this call and sharing about your business, what you've struggled with, what you've succeeded with. If anybody does want to reach back out to you, what is the best way for them to connect with you?
Well, my email is hello@carriewhite.us. So it's CarrieWhite.us.
LinkedIn.
I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah, Carrie White, Money Coach on LinkedIn.
I'll make sure that I share the email and the LinkedIn in the description so you guys can connect with Carrie. And if you have any questions about any of the other guests, please make sure to comment in the space provided below. Really appreciate you guys for watching here today. And if you're interested in being a guest, go ahead and click that apply button in the description below. Thank you again, Carrie.